to the top spot because there is significant prizing on the line. I think it's $15,000 for first place today on EU. We're watching another early game fight here at the weather station. FinScoot does find one, but there's still another one, and that was NLE, a player that we saw a little bit of yesterday. NLO, sorry.
FinScoot got himself on the board with this forward elim. No doubt someone else is kind of running around. Goes for that reverse edit right there to try to be a big surprise, but Scoot was prepared. Gets a couple of nice hits right there. And there it is, Freddy getting sent back out of the server right there. FinScoot taking that nice two-piece, getting himself 8 elims, and it all goes into the butterfly effect. And now we're going over to Capsino. As Monster and Shia were talking about, we're having a big day today for Capsino. Sitting with 14 elims, has a nice high ground right now. And take a look at the format that you see and how important making placement plus elims. We've been talking about it throughout the entire broadcast, taking a look at the leaderboards throughout the different regions. If you could get both together, you're going to be looking very fine right now, as Capsino is doing his best to poke and prod to get himself inside of this little cabin, which was always having the Christmas trees, the Nutcracker cabin here. I've been seeing so many fun troll clips here. Capsino's not trolling around, he's not messing around, Balla, doing some great, fantastic pressure here on his opponent, letting him use all his resources, and there it is. Eventually, Tanks goes down to Capsino.
Pretty easily get the pre-fire shots out and the advantage in the fights. And we've seen the agency a little bit throughout this week 1. The influence of the drum gun, clear. But there's 3 players here, and this is one of the reasons why this is not one of the better spots in this week 1, is because it's so many. Every time you try to sneak out, there's another player getting ready to attack. Positioning benefits from being there, as it's in the center of the map. Verse starts things off with a double dink. The Verse AR doing good work and following it up with a tack shot. He did get some heals off, so this isn't all the way all in yet for Verse, although he might be. As he gets him on the back foot, he's in the box now, but the edit comes through. It's a pump shots. Oh, that was risky for a second there. I thought it was going to turn the tides.
Attacking him right now. Now Cezo's on the defense, loses piece control right in front of him, so now he's doing all his best. Didn't have that camera advantage that we all want, and Skole does what he does best.
I think it's pretty good with the 33 points after probably 2 or 3 games by Milan so far.
No doubt Milan trying to do a better performance as day 1. He catches them right there and is rewarded with floppers. You talk about the day 1 performance of Milan. He had 63 points, so already he is outpacing himself. He's, as Otav is doing his best, looking for the holes in his opponent's game, trying to get in that piece control, trying to use that tack as a way to break down the builds as hard mats is going out, and we have a battle for high ground. Otav might go for the chop here, looking his best to try to get this opponent down to his layer. Almost catches him. There, he pops him right there, and that it looks like that was almost one of those situations, but Otav gets surprised again, Balla, and now we have that third party, as you mentioned, the other opponent listening right on cue, noticing that Otav did take some damage, and now we have that opportunity. As I like this box fighting here, Balla. I like it, trying to get the little piece of that corner.
Yeah, just that one edit piece. Trying to break it from the range where Kaizen can't shoot back, and we have seen Kaizen's partner fighting around Misty Meadows against Milan earlier in the day. That's Blackie from Squads. And he is in this fight. 2 French players, I believe, or French-speaking players, I think, from Otav and Kaizen. Kaizen, you remember him from the duos, had so many strong performances and was one of the more consistent players with Clement. Now in solos. See what he can do. Right now, he's definitely putting the heat onto Otav.
Otav trying to do his best to survive this third party. It's interesting. We've talked about it earlier. Blackie actually has a tendency to third party. He did that in the previous game. He kind of sniffs around and listens with his ears, of course, to find that opportunity. He is an opportunist, and he's going to have this opportunity to get the 4 points, and he does. Actually, that was Kaizen. I'm sorry. Kaizen, the opportunist in this fight. But I try not to be a free 4-pointer. But yeah, man, this is smart. This is what Shio likes to call positioning, and this is very prime positioning here for Monkey Man. He finished the day 1 with 21 points, already doing really well in day 2. Poof, pow, surprise! Monkey Man jumps out and grabs that banana that he's been looking for.
Not super complex, but he uses SMG to start. And when the stair came up, he actually switched so that there was a full clip available to continue spraying through once he got through the stairs, and there's nothing you could do.
And that's all is the name of the game today. Just get to the top 300 so you have another week to get into the top 80. And of course, if your day ends today, you still have an opportunity in the rebound. Monkey Man now out of the cabin, ready to attack with the confidence, going full aggro right here, trying to get himself into the box with brute force here. There it is. He got right in there, and there it is. You mentioned right there, Balla, having that SMG fully loaded and gets us Saiyans right and out of the server. And he has Mice's drum gun. So I'm expecting Monkey Man to go full King Kong on the rest of this lobby. Looking for an opportunity to just get this guy off of him. Capsino still applying the pressure. Now he has the green light, and he sends him right out of the server. Razzie does his best with some great defense early on, but it's just not enough to hold on to. Capsino now with using those tree lines as cover.
I worry here, though, for Milan. This was somebody who was pressuring him for quite a long time. This may be a little bit of an emotional play, but he makes it work. But what I'm referring to is that the zone was going to start moving if he did not wrap that up.
And you're going to see the circle pick a side here. So Optily looking for an opportunity to hopefully get that side going in, but he has to be careful for the opponent down below and all the gunshots happening. A third person is now picking at him from below, and he's still trying to hold it. The harpoon is trying to take the floor away from him. Luckily, Balla, the fifth circle, is so close by, so he can take some time in this fight and not have to worry about making that big-time rotation.
100%, and there's already players blazing the trail for him down below. I saw Jamside from VP making his rotation already, so that might be somebody that he can follow up on. But hold on, there's a heavy sniper in the box. It's Julian Calm. He gets aggressive. He knows he might be able to make it towards fifth. He misses the opportunity for the community launch pad, opting to go over towards these three, where I don't think there's anything here, Milan. I think these guys were waiting just as you were, but there it is. And he finds one on the outskirts, another launch pad too. So I'm confused. There's two players here were holding on to launch pads while zone overtook, and Milan now gets the spoils, but gliding in high, late. I'm still a little bit worried. That's why he waits for a second for the tree line so that he can swoop in afterwards with all the builds in his way. Well done from Milan.
We're seeing now the congestion now forming up as there's so many competitors inside the circle. It's going to be very heavy on the south and north side, which is where the border of the storm line is still open. So a lot of the players making their way as much as possible to north, and as we're going to see to the next circle, it's going to be the rotating circle. Kaizen picks up an Elim right there. Milan is somewhere sitting really middle of the pack, so he's looking really good at qualifying for the next week. But the people that we've been seeing that you're watching here, folks, Optily, they're all still on the bubble. So those are the people we're going to be rooting for the rest of the day, because we want to see people succeed here on the broadcast. As we're on board, where's Resurrect? He's sitting with 11 points total for the day, and he has himself a decent position here now on the low ground. There's so much builds here, Balla, all over the place, and so they're going to have the opportunity to recycle through. Resurrect YZY gets the big Elim right there and gets a nice refresher. We kind of talked about it prepping for this broadcast, Balla. These are what are impact Elims. You could get resources, you could get ammo, and more importantly, you could get closer and closer to the top 10 so that we could really start accruing points.
And the players on the edge are going to have to overcome tiebreakers most likely, as Milan is one of those. And you got to be careful with those, because if you're not all the way up the top, that tends to happen. He's got to maybe get a win, and he is going to get in the box and get an Elim. So maybe performances like this, if he does pop off, if he does get a 10 in elimination top placement, then maybe he doesn't need that. This is so solid from Milan. Remember, he used that launch pad. Remember, he was fighting with only 30 builds to get in the zone. Right now, back up to 68. He has floppers if he needs to dip in and wait for just a brief moment to actually extend the resources that he has. So far, it's looking very, very good from Milan. What looked like a shambles game.
Shambles game turning around to its finest. Balla, Milan doing his best just to keep going, to keep surviving, using those floppers. Right now, it is a 10-tick storm. For those of you that never made it this far in a crazy game in Arena, 10-tick is very, very dangerous. Of course, it's almost max damage, and Milan does max damage with Meowscles Pew Pew, getting the job done now, sitting with 61 points for day 2. Some big-time performances from Milan using a nice stair tunnel, and we're taking a look at the overview. We have Scala on the top, Monkey Man still alive, doing his best, going from branch to branch, and Flame we saw earlier in the cast, and actually Scala does take him down, but now we're on back with Fast Roki. So now we have different situations kind of happening all over the place, Balla. Low ground, mid ground, and high. Right now, you want to try to do your best to get the high ground, because as always, high ground is king, but you can still be that low ground warrior and get so much resources on the low.
And we are looking at the mid ground from Fastroki. He's going to look back through his old tarp, and that takes out Monkey Man, who made it to the top 11. So good placement there, but he gives Fastroki the Midas drum gun. Trulex, I believe, is the player on height. And Fastroki opting to see if he wants to go dip in his zone for a couple little builds. And I think maybe harpooning what he could have would have been nice, but I don't think he actually saw any builds in that. And for now, 2 eliminations for him. A pretty decent layer. There's a player down below him. He tries to box it entirely up for situations like this when somebody tries to go up and into that box. He's ready for it, and he is going to edit down, possibly take a shot. Yes, it's on the driving. And that's now 3. Trulex has lost height. It's Jamon, and Julian Calm is second. Milan's still up, by the way, in this game.
Fast Roki sitting on the outside of the top 300, not in it right now, doing what he can to get himself in as Milan falls in the Elam feed. We're on board here with Fast Roki, sitting with 36 points with the power of the Midas drum gun. We're in a top 4 situation, ladies and gentlemen, and Fast Roki needs to do all he can to qualify. You don't want to get this far, and Julian Calm actually just goes down to fall damage. Fast Roki doesn't get it, and now we're in a 1v1 situation. So much loot available for Fast Roki.
Yeah, he needed to go into that to get the loot because he didn't have enough to actually outplay this. And with the flopper, he could take the zone. It's Starliu down on low ground against Fastryu. No materials on Star. He needs to hit the shots, and he doesn't. It's Fastroki who hits them. And after what looked like a scary moment for a second as there was